One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
NASA has selected Nokia to build the first mobile network on the moon.
When you think of NASA and Nokia, you typically wouldn't expect them to collaborate or work with one another. One is an independent agency of the United States federal government dedicated to space research and aeronautics, while the other is a telecommunications, information technology, and consumer tech company. However, news reports have recently circulated that the two entities will be collaborating to build a 4G network on quite the unusual location, the Moon. NASA plans to return to the Moon, and more than just bringing humans back to its surface, it wants to plant and build infrastructure that will be able to support a base on the Moon. To be able to achieve this, NASA has decided to team up with Nokia. What are their plans? What will the cellular network on the Moon help achieve? And when is it expected to be rolled out? And what are its implications, if any, of life here on Earth? Well, that's exactly what we're going to be talking about in this video, so sit back and relax as we dive into NASA and Nokia's building of a 4G network on the Moon. This is New Technology Today, bringing you the hottest tech innovations straight to your screens. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video, and of course, subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell to keep yourself up to date. Now, before we dive into the details, let's dial it back a bit and take a look at the first ever moon landing. NASA, or the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, was the body responsible for the planning and executing mankind's first ever visit to the Moon. You're probably familiar with the voice clip of a man saying, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." That man was Neil Armstrong, commander of the Apollo 11 spaceflight that first took and landed humans up on the Moon. Apollo 11 was launched from the Kennedy Space Center on the 16th of July, then the fifth crewed mission of NASA's Apollo program. The spacecraft landed on the Moon on the 20th of July, 1969 at 2017 UTC, and Neil Armstrong was the first man to step on the lunar surface a few hours later. The expedition's lunar module pilot, Buzz Aldrin, followed Neil Armstrong roughly 19 minutes later. The pair spent a total of 21 hours and 36 minutes on the surface of the Moon before lifting off to rejoin the Command Module Columbia, piloted by Command Module pilot Michael Collins. Now, what does all of this have to do with Nokia? Years ago, Nokia was a dominant player in the field of mobile devices. It was among the front runners for our beloved mobile device, and it was able to give many of us our very first mobile phone. However, as time passed by and technologies by other companies were developed even further, Nokia lost out to its competitors, namely Apple and Samsung. In 2013, the company even found itself on the brink of bankruptcy. They found a reprieve in the form of Microsoft, which bought their phone range and provided them with the boost they needed. Now Nokia is slowly climbing up the ranks again. On the 29th of June 2020, Nokia was able to secure a 5G contract worth roughly $450 million from Taiwan Mobile to be the sole supplier of the company's next-generation network. Nokia made waves again months later on the 19th of October 2020 when it announced that it will be working with NASA on a contract to build a 4G mobile network for astronauts to use on the Moon. NASA has expressed its interest in sending people back to the Moon. It has been over a century since any man has visited the Moon, but NASA continues to, as they say, push the boundaries of knowledge to deliver on the promise of American ingenuity and leadership in space. The entity projects to keep working on their projects and discovering more about the natural satellite by launching an initiative to send astronauts to explore the Moon's lunar south pole by 2024. That's why NASA launched the Artemis project. This is what they had to say. With the Artemis project, NASA will land the first woman and next man on the Moon by 2024, using innovative technologies to explore more of the lunar surface than ever before. We will collaborate with our commercial and international partners and establish sustainable exploration by the end of the decade. Then, we will use what we learn on and around the Moon to take the next giant leap, sending astronauts to Mars. The American Space Agency seems to be making plans for the future wherein humans can return to the Moon's surface and establish settlements there. Nokia's role is to make sure seamless, effective communication is possible on the Moon. The company will be partnering with private spacecraft designing company Intuitive Machines to bring the equipment up to the Moon. Once there, the network will be able to configure itself and foster 4G LTE communications on the moon. It is Nokia's goal for the communication system to be able to make the switch to 5G in the future. Such a system will allow astronauts voice and video communications, telemetry, and biometric data exchange, and will also allow them to deploy and control their lunar rovers and other such robotic devices. These technologies will be created to withstand the extreme conditions of both launching and landing, and will also be able to fully operate in space. The system needs to be compact and built using the exact dimensions to ensure its operability. This is what Marcus Weldon, Chief Technology Officer at Nokia, had to say. Reliable, resilient, and high-capacity communication networks will be key to supporting sustainable human presence on the lunar surface. By building the first high-performance wireless network solution on the moon, Nokia Bell Labs is once again planting the flag for pioneering innovation beyond the conventional limits. What are your thoughts on NASA and Nokia's upcoming collaboration? Do you think the two entities will be successful in building a 4G network on the moon? Do you think it will be able to help create a stable base on the moon? Let's talk about it. Let me know what you think by commenting down below in the comment section. I'll be replying to all of you who comment within the first hour of me posting this video. If you enjoyed this video, you should definitely check out my other video called PG Unleashed 160 RX 782 Gundam Special PV. Ever since Gundam was created, it has become something like a cultural phenomenon. The Japanese giant robot franchise is one of the highest grossing media franchises in history, ranking over $20 billion in sales. It has developed a massive following, and it has an enormous fan base all over the world. If you've watched my previous videos, you already know all about Gundam's history and what both fans and Gundam's creators have done to commemorate the media franchise. The Gundam universe is well loved, and Japan's fondness for Gundam can be seen throughout the entire nation. Apart from launching a Gundam-themed cafe, giant statues of Gundam suits depict the life-size versions of a real Gundam robot, collector's items, and novelty shops that celebrate everything Gundam, the media franchise releases collectible figures called Gunpla. Today we will discuss one of Gundam's newest releases, the PG-160th RX-782 Unleashed 2.0. What does the PG stand for? What can the Gunpla do? What makes this Gunpla so unique? And what are fans saying about this newest Gunpla? That's exactly what we're going to be talking about today in that video, so check it out and we will dive into the PG-160 RX-782 Unleashed 2.0. Stay connected, stay up to date.